You saw Chariwange Kyagulanyi also passed a message around here. Said Chariwange oyo mubi wataka. I said, but Chari. Chariwange. From Bitwaina beach. He had a beach in Busabala, nga beach eyange erigaluga. He had his own beach in Busabala, and for me I was in Galuga. But for me, when the spirit of Kapeka came, I sold the one in Galuga and moved to Kapeka. So Chariche Abadangamba such teged, I didn't. Because in terms of land grabbing, he may even be a bigger land grabber than me. So that one we are going to fight it, because, but I want, the most important thing I wanted as a take home for the banks, please help me and we think through this chapter loan. It may become a liberation tool for the wananchi who are under bondage of Bibanja holders. And you can transform those Bibanja holders from no production to actually full production. If you visit where I'm staying now, the 301 beneficiaries of the chapter have built permanent houses. I think I had a video when they were playing it here. So it is very easy to conceive a 10-year period. You pay off the landowner so that he can do other things, and then the Mwananchi gets the title. And I think development will take very quick shape. Naye Shari Namugambi, Gendo Some, the person you are fighting, yeah, you don't know what it means. Because Namugeza Konze Gomulawa, in 2020, those guys of NPA cooked me. You know, when they cook you, and they make you feel so important that you are now in position to discuss with the president. So they cooked me. Now, without me really scrutinizing what I was reading, I sent the brief to the president of the, you know, this standard PowerPoint presentation, challenges, successes, those ones there. That is the summary, but there is a whole compendium of all the documents related to that. So they made that presentation of NDP3 because he had refused to sign it, because NDP3 has never related with him. They talk other things, he talk other things, but so they gave me that presentation which I sent to him in January. He took time. That's how the acronym of Musevenomics came out. He took time, and in March 2020, he really gave me a rebuke. You know, a rebuke. And at that time, I had just turned 60. I was 60 years old. So he told me, somebody who is near there, I don't know who can read, my eyes can't reach there. Can you read, you people who are seated? Yeah. He says, clarity, imagine me, I'm asking Mzee, whether he's clear about the goals, objectives, programs of NDP3. So he, disciplined as he always is, he took time to answer me on the clarity of the goals, objectives of NDP3. Says, I have received your note, dated that, about that, full stop. However, I know what Uganda needs, full stop. You know, when you are 60 years old and somebody tells you that, you either hate him or you read what he's saying. So he said, I have talked about it for a long time. For instance, I can refer you to a document which he had shared with SEC. And I have never been a member of SEC. So he shared that document, but I think the SEC members never read it. And the rest is history. The moment I started reading that document, that's when I realized that all of us who are opposing the boss have no equal capacity to discuss with him unless you study him. So, how was the economy at the dawn of colonialism? What was the economy at the sunset? What was the effect of that post-independent government? What was the economy 86? That's what. Now, when I saw these questions, some of them were far ahead. I couldn't interpret them myself. And when you don't know how to interpret things, you call in for reinforcement. So that's when I called on the Professor Nwagawa, and he did justice to educate me. But what surprised me with Professor Nwagawa, the first 2 pages of that paper was his CV. For me, I've never seen a CV as long as that. The man has written and written. I don't know where he gets the words from. So that's where he went through, but it also inspired him actually to write this book. But unfortunately, in the acknowledgements, I don't see my name there of his book. Did you acknowledge me? You did. Very good. So the man went through it. He's cut through it. But the problem between me and him, he overscored him in some areas and then underscored him in some areas. Like on privatization and liberalization, he scored him 50%. Then in return of Asian properties, he underscored him at 30%, 40. Then what else? Privatization. Yeah, that was an overmark. 90, you can never get 90 in security. No, but that is an overmark. You should subtract from there and then you add on the... And that's what I asked the Presidential Council when they came to see me in Gulu. You go and read through this document of Professor Nwagawa and score your president. Because he loves the private sector more than he loves government. So you go and score him. Then they went through all that. Then I shared the same document with the Dr. Mukiza, the one of you boss. Because if you put Professor Nwagawa and Professor Mukiza in one room, they will never agree on anything. Because one was from Cambridge, I think. Another one is from where? So he also made his own interpretation of the study. Then we shared that whole thing with the parliamentarians, the Committee of Parliament. I told them, guys, you need to link up with the Command-in-Chief. And that committee was formed. They studied all the problems, the factors of production, the distortions which are there, and how they can be removed. But unfortunately, people read, but they don't focus. So those 3 documents. Now recently, when he was looking for the 7th term, he again wrote another document, the nomination speech. And in that nomination speech, he said, let's forget 1900. Let us start from 1965. That one there. So, private sector, for me, I'm not recruiting you to be Musevenists. I'm just appealing to you to read his works. Because all the English and all the statistics you are talking must be grounded in a theory. And I think it's high time we discussed his theories, and I'm very sure all of us will benefit. So, my request is simple. When you are studying models, Namunkekera Rural Industrial Center, which is the second name, now that is the write-up, the Musevenomics book is there. For us as OWC, we just compiled some of his remarkable speeches into a book format. Because some of his speeches have never been spoken by another character. So, the Namunkekera here, the one you are, which you call Riaushen Industrial Park, for us we call it Namunkekera Rural Industrial Center, the $1 equation. Then Namunkekera Agro-Processing Industries Limited is for input supply and management of the value addition. It's there. Then Heritage Farm, behind there where I'm staying, is where the CHAPA loan, we have applied it to maximum effect. Then China-Uganda Development Exchange Club is a luxury site down there. When you get time and you want to have a peace of mind and you want to think with clarity, go there, you'll see it. Then Namunkekera Farm Service Center is up there. That's where inputs are for the farmers in the region here. Then now recently, we did Made in Africa. We opened outlets for all the products which are made in Uganda for Africa. We have a branch in Gulu, Arua, and we are looking for partnerships from the private sector. If you want to be Miao, if you want to be Miao in Tororo, if you want to be Miao in Mbarara, if you want to be Miao in Jinja, you are welcome. We can start our discussions. That is our outlet in Gulu. Gulu or Arua? That is Gulu. Now, around us, we have got potential. We have got aquaculture potential at Kembogo on the single side along the River Mayanja. Then we have got the avocado city north of this site where Mr. Baraj is. And then we have got now these nucleus farms which are scattered around. So Kapeka for us is past tense. It is activity which is ongoing. And I'm so happy, CEO and chairman of this forum, that you have brought for me the brains of the private sector so that they can understand what we are doing here, but most importantly, how they can help me with the remaining problem of liberating this Wananchi from the bondage of the Mairo system. Madam Namayanja, with those few words, I beg to hand over the microphone to our senior, maybe who? Hillary. Yeah, to greet us from northern Uganda and to tell us. I was surprised to find him here in the group of CEOs. If you are looking for a minister who is working as a private sector person, you look for Engineer Hillary Onek. Yeah. Because he's not in that political class, yes, but for him, he's an engineer. One day he put me in trouble. This so-called Umeme report you hear that I wrote about, he's the one who wrote it, and then Saleh said, you know your name, you can put it there. Because he was totally anti-Umeme. Then on Chira, he told us, you people, you are making a mistake. Don't open another dam, you go downstream. We ignored him, we almost caused the problem. He's the one who designed the Karuma, the tunneling system of the Karuma Dam, him. If you see what he's doing in the hotel industry, when you go to Acholi, you can't avoid him. So let me give him. But the Minister of Labor also should say one word about the industrial park. She was here for a tour recently. She's putting us under so much pressure about the working conditions of the workers and the salaries, but we are grateful to her. Although she's too tough on us, but she's giving us the right guidance. And then Mzee Kabyanga, the person who is in charge of this, the information. So please, private sector, work with Kabyanga. He could have some financial constraints, I think, in this information management, information distribution. So work with him and see.